and see how that differs. Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode 25 of Sisters Talk. I can't believe we're on episode 25. It seems like just yesterday that we started this podcast. My name is Marie Robinson.
And I'm Charlene Lutz.
And today we have a special guest with us. I'm so excited to learn more about Denise and her work. Char, do you want to do some introductions?
Yeah, absolutely. So I met Denise in Media, Pennsylvania, at a place called Heart Space. And I started teaching some workshops, and we got to know each other. And I am super thrilled to have her here and talk about the work that she does in the world. And so if you could just start us off, I guess, Denise, with telling us what Heart Space is and how it's affected your life.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it so much. I really do. I struggle with doing anything like this. So I've been told this is the year to say yes to things like this. So
I love that. That's great.
Heart Space is a space that was created to do the interior work that we all struggle with in our life. So it's to get to know ourselves, get to know who we are, um, to establish our own individuality, to try to work our way and navigate through the worst of our life and realize to realize that in all the struggles that we have and all the most terrible things that we endure, there's real gold there. That's the part of our life that will yield the most in terms of who we are. And so it's a big work. It's a big heavy lifting work. And I stepped into it not knowing anything, nothing, only that it needed to be done. Um, Having the store, Seven Stones, which meant um, the seven stones on the pathway to peace, that also was a journey in itself. But you realize when you meet people in spaces like Seven Stones, that they're really struggling. They're struggling with life, they're struggling with sorrow and grief and loss and confusion and so many things. So when the space below the store became available, we decided that that would be a great space to kind of be able to get people down there to do this work, which is interesting because I had no idea what the work was um, in terms of what it is now. So that's why I say when I feel like I'm a guardian of that space, it became what it's supposed to be, and it'll stay as long as it needs to be there. And I feel like I'm a protector of that space. So I kind of guide and direct what's in there, how it is in there, um, welcoming anyone to come in and do that heavy lifting in their own life. So, and it's a big work and it's changed my life in a lot of ways. I've learned a lot of things and I started a real serious path in heart space. So the topic of authenticity was really, because authenticity is, to me, is really finding who you are. It's really that discovery. It's just all such a laboratory of self-discovery. And so it is it is a big work. And what I do, I've stepped into meditation, mantra, workshops, all the places I've gone in my own journey, as long as I feel I can hold it in such a way to offer it to people authentically, um, honestly, compassionately, I'll offer it. I'll share it. If my guides tell me do it, I do it. Um, I have no formal learning, so it's challenging when you realize that you have no letters behind your name to hold you up. So all you could do is really rely on what is true, what is authentic. It doesn't, it doesn't, it doesn't get a lot of votes with a lot of people. Truth just isn't like that. So when
Mhm.
you're doing this big work, sometimes it's really hard for people to do it. They don't like what they hear. So, but that's the work. So
That's
essentially, I don't even know if I've it really explained. So aside from what I do, no matter what goes in yoga, I want yoga to be real yoga. Um, any meditation, I want people to realize what that really means in their life. Why are you here?
Mhm.
Um, it's not about relaxing. Um, sound bath, sound, the yoga of sound, um, all of that, everything that happens in that space and the people that offer it, I kind of in some way, it's weird. It's like I guess I vet them in some way. Um, but it's not according to what they can bring in. It's not according to how much money they can bring to the space. I feel like again, as long as we are offering in this space this capacity to know yourself, the space will take care of itself. And
Mhm.
maybe that's naive, but we're going into our ninth year, so
I
it's
don't think that's naive at all. I mean, I love that you've really surrendered to the flow and well, a couple things. I find it fascinating that it's underneath the store because this is the inward work and then this place that houses all this is actually under. So
mhm,
that's really
symbolic,
cool
I
and
think.
symbolic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It is a beautiful space too. And so many thoughts right now. I can't even wrap my mind around all of them. But I just think that this sort of work is so important. And the fact that you have created a space where people feel safe to kind of like pick and choose what's going to most benefit them um, is so empowering, and to feel like you can um, go to this place where you won't be judged and you can really open up and get a community that
mhm,
of like-minded people. That was what I really loved about teaching in your space, was that it felt like a little family of people. And um, it wasn't always the same people, but it often was, and we did really get to know each other, and we got to know the stories of the people that were there. And
mhm.
that just that connection that you're cultivating is uh it's so important in the capacity, I think, to go inward and do the hard work. So but yeah, Murray, if you want to, I
Well,
didn't know if
I
you'd say.
again, there's so many thoughts that were running through my mind, but I think just that belonging and connection, as you described it, um, and kind of having, an expectation, like we're not here just for the fluff. Like, don't come in here and just do a fast yoga session. Like that place is about,
Mm,
and I think bringing that sense of, your authenticity to then, like Shar said, create a safe space, I think is really powerful. And, in today's society, I mean, loneliness is a big issue, right? So,
mm,
we all have these connections with our devices and, all of this social media, but I think what many of us realize is it's not really true connection. And to have spaces like this where people can be in physical proximity to one another and not just on a screen, um, is super powerful. And and again, like when you were talking, I was just getting chills because it just sounds so amazing that you've kind of um you're kind of the conduit, right? Like
mhm.
you're what's bringing it, but it hasn't been created necessarily by you. It's like you're
Right,
following your calling. And
Mm,
I just love that. I absolutely love that.
exactly.
yeah.
Feeling like a co-creator is really a realized moment in my life to be co-creating with existence, just so we could, know who we are. And I feel that that's really necessary and not for all the reasons I can really explain. It
Mm,
just really helps to know that, you know, you can these lights never blink, so I don't know what's going on. So, um,
That's
um,
funny.
Like a sign to me, you're on the right track.
so yeah, to be able to stand on your own 2 feet, know who you are, know what you stand for, know what you live for, know what you're willing to die for. A, a lot of people don't know those things, and to find that place in yourself, I think, is very empowering, and not in the ways where you think you're going to conquer the world. You're just going to be present in your life and be able to handle whatever, life brings at you, and know that it's a part of it. There's no, it's, we wish that we could have only good times, but it's not the good times that teach us anything
Right.
really. Um,
Right.
it's the worst of times that really help us to navigate to deeper spaces. So, and it is like you mentioned, it's being below, very symbolic. I feel like it's like the womb of the store. I always said that this is like the
Mm,
womb. This is where we are being recreated. Um, and I do think that people have a sense of that, and it makes it difficult for them to, step in initially. Some people step in and they begin to, find a path for themselves, and then some people are just not ready. So it's really fascinating work. That's what I've really come to realize, that and compassion. I mean, to have compassion for people and their journeys, and to really know that the possibility, and this is what I say, I mean, why did I do this from the beginning? Like, why? And it's just, I know we have the ability to feel good. And when we feel good, we can offer it at a very high level in our life. So even no matter what it is we're enduring or suffering or going through, um, to be able to say that you're okay is part of the process of knowing who it is we really are. We're amazing beings, so vast. We're just so beyond. And to get even a glimpse of that sometimes is that just a little glimpse will allow you to navigate and begin to, stay on a path, no matter how hard it is. So, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that's really powerful. I wanted to go back to something you said just a little bit ago about knowing who you are and kind of, connecting to who we are as people. And I've been in education for over 25 years, and I currently homeschool my son. And one of the things that I've come to realize is that sometimes it feels like, we have so many things that we want to teach our children. And there's so many things on the list that oftentimes those things like you're talking about, like if you don't know who you are as a person, how do you then live your best life? Like it's like, why isn't that a part of what we're doing? And I'm sure in some cases it is, but certainly, it's infused because you have those amazing educators that just know how to connect with kids and bring that about, whether it's psychology, philosophy. I mean, there's classes that it can be infused in, but it almost just lately, like the past couple of years, I've just been feeling like this is the most important thing that you want young people and everyone to really know and understand. Because if we're not well, and if we're not feeling true to ourselves, then we're functioning in the world, what, as a shell, or what society says we should be for all of those messages that are coming through. And then how is that really a fulfilling life? And I would venture to say it's not. It's almost like a single strand, as opposed to building that tapestry of all of those experiences like you shared, the good and the bad. I mean, Shar and I talk about that a lot, in terms of the resilience that we've built because of the challenges that we've had, and really being grateful for our life journey because it's propelled us in so many ways to be where we are today.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
this is great. I'm so glad that you could join us. This is a really, really powerful message. And I
Yeah, it
can't believe,
is.
I will say I've never been, but next time I'm in media, you
Yeah.
better believe I'm coming. Absolutely. I think this is
Yeah.
wonderful.
Well, that's wonderful. Yeah, and I think, and that's all a part of what being authentic is, right? It's like, so, to get to that place where, you're not your mother's child and you're not the wife or you're not the business owner, you're not any of the identities um, that you are. Like that's who you are in the world in this mortal encasement. We function that's in a practical way, in all the ways that we do, but that is not really who we are. And it's until we reach that place where we know that we're infinite, where we actually realize that we've done this way too many times before. And can we get this to the point where maybe we don't have to do it anymore? Um, to realize our infinity and to realize that we're vast and to realize that we are intuitively intelligent, that we have an intelligence built in that has kind of been squashed, for a variety of reasons, um, mostly because it doesn't feed the powers that be. It doesn't make too much money. It doesn't cause anybody to be superior to anyone else. So when we get to those places and realize that, wow, we can really be an individual person and we have the ability to think our own thoughts and to use our intuitive intelligence to live our life, then everything begins to change. Then you're little by little, you're not so much a part of the society. You realize, yes, in the capacity of I'm a mother, but I am more. I am more than that. And it's just when you begin to travel, through these spaces that are realize somewhere inside of us that something is not quite there, that we're missing something, and we're not really missing anything. We've forgotten to remember. We have forgotten to remember that we are here on an individual journey, that our parents were vehicles for our being here, and that we are here to establish, just as they were, to establish who they are in their life. And we're here to establish what our soul's purpose is. And, ultimately, anything that moves us in the direction of being superior or better or, smarter or more of anything is a move in the wrong direction. If we can begin to move towards this place of, well, I've begun to really say to my classes anyway, I start them with, um, only that in you that is in me can hear what I am saying. Um, because otherwise I'm talking to, you know, 10 different people in the room, and you can't reach 10 different people in the room, not in their life experience, not in their mind. The only place you can reach them is at the heart level, at the soul level. So when I begin to establish that I'm speaking soul to soul and heart to heart, ever since I even started that, I see a big difference in how people are perceiving what I'm saying. They're hearing it in a different way. They're not filtering it through their mortal life. They're not filtering it through their aggravation, their frustration, their sorrow, their lack, their want, their whatever, their education, who they are culturally or racially. All of that drops because that's not who I'm speaking to. I'm speaking heart to heart, soul to soul, where we are all the same. And I realized when I started doing that, and I'm getting the chills just saying that, and um, when I realized the shift in how people were perceiving, they began to perceive in a different way. They began to be able to relax a little bit more because I wasn't talking about what you can't do. I wasn't talking about what you shouldn't have done. I like you're just out of that. That's not where you are anymore. So until we get to that place, and realize those things and just living out of our mind and thoughts, and for far too many people they live in regret, shame, remorse, and grief. I mean, they're the big ones, and they can't try to find or wiggle their way out of them until you go to a deeper place.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really so true. And I love how you're on this journey with them. You know, you've really made that very clear, is that you don't feel like you're above them, or that you're some kind of a, seer that knows all, and that, like, it's not, that's not the format, and that's not how you're presenting. You're just somebody also along on the journey, and you've created this space, and you hope to, inspire, empower, whatever the word is, for people to move through it. And as you are yourself at the same time. And I just think that's amazing. And that's the way that we can all connect, is like you said, we're all one, we're all the same heart and soul. And that's the level where you can really reach people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
really the only place. Other than that, there's, sometimes we hear somebody talking. Well, let's just say in the political world, we hear people talking, and I remember myself saying a lot, like, what world do they live in? What world are they living in that they see things like this? And the truth of it is, they're living in their own world. Like we all have a world that we live in based on,
Mhm.
how we came up, what we've been taught, everything that's been collected on ourselves, all of our identities, all the spaces we fill in the world. And so, the idea is that how many people are there in the world? Billions upon billions. That's how many worlds there are. And
Mhm.
then you can get to the place where you say, how many people are in the world? Well, there's just one, because when we meet at that place, we're talking to a oneness. We're talking to all of our oneness. We're talking to that sameness in everyone. So that's why it's really important to have compassion. And I'm not going to say that I've worked that all out, but I realize that it's necessary to realize that,
Absolutely.
and especially in these times, for all the things that were mentioned about your son and how important it is to teach. And we're right now the world is very strange. Our country is strange, and to navigate through all the mess is challenging at best, scary in a big way to me. Um, but it it gets done, and that's all I can
Yeah.
say. It's my
And
prayer every day, like, just
yeah.
help me to be a part of this in a way that is helpful to people. That's all. That's it.
Yeah. I think that's so important. And I love that you're bringing about the compassion, because I think that is a big piece. And remembering that everyone is on journey, right? I know there may have been some things that I've worked through, and now, I may no longer feel a certain way. But then when I'm interacting with someone who clearly is still where I was before, that's very hard to, maintain a positive interaction and all of that. So, that being said, I think it's so important, again, just wrapping back to heart space, is that it's a place where people can come and kind of do that work together. And I think it's wonderful to be able to connect with you and to
Yeah.
connect with other people that are on, kind of have that similar perspective at this point in time, because it's not that common, like you said. I mean, we're hearing it in the political arena, and in every industry, really. There are just so many challenges that I think it's all the more reason that we need to be seeking out people who help to, offer that,
Right.
piece of hope, and then that also that connection to help
Mhm.
lift everyone up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Just try
absolutely.
to
We're so
encourage
happy.
people that there's,
Yeah.
that we have a great potential for the possibility to be real human beings in the world. And
Hmm.
Yeah.
so it's it's a great work. I love it. I love what I do. It's hard to really, pin it down to say what is it that you do. And I'm always reluctant to, I almost don't know. But I
Where can
I
people where can people find you? What do you have a website?
I don't have a website that belongs to me, like as, Denise Yocco, but Heart Space Media, at least you get to see what's um, on the schedule and in the program, um, what classes and events are coming up. And so Heart Space Media is heartspacemedia.com would be the
Perfect.
website. Other than that, I really, I really don't have anything out there. I don't
Yeah, I
use
think that's
social
great.
media anymore.
Mhm.
Um,
You do offer a newsletter, right? If you
I have a
subscribe, because I get
newsletter.
that. Okay.
Yes, you can. I think through the email, I think through the website, you can sign up for, I do put out a weekly email every week. And in that email, I will offer some reflection, um, about what's on my mind, what's happening, how we move forward as human beings in the world. Yeah, sometimes I think I'm really way too serious, but you know, maybe that's my soul's work. I don't know. I've always been serious. I think I came into the world um kind of just serious person. So all my life I've been told to lighten up, lighten up. So I guess
Well,
that's my deal.
I will say that I'm so glad that you came on today, and also that I love the newsletter and I love reading it. I look forward to it every Sunday. So yeah, I encourage people that are watching to sign up if you haven't already, because
Yeah,
you will love it.
Oh, well,
we'll make
thank
sure.
you.
We'll,
Yeah, just offer your email, and there are over 2,000 people on there. So,
that's great. That's great.
and I think I've been doing it at least in this way. I think I've been doing it at least for 8 years. So
Yeah,
That's
it's
wonderful.
yeah,
That's wonderful. Yeah. You're definitely having a powerful
for
impact. Yeah. And
sure.
we do appreciate your time so much today, Denise. And
I
we'll make
thank
sure that we
you.
put the website in the description too, so that folks can just access it that way too, and make sure that they know just about what you offer and all of the amazing work that you're doing.
Okay, well, thank you so much. It was so nice to meet you, and
Yes, you as well.
Thank
Charlene,
you.
thank you. And I
You're
just really
welcome.
appreciate, I love what you're doing. I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy for you that you found this place in your life to do.